New antifungal breakthrough discovered in the fertile plains of Bangladesh. Take a look at this picture. Embarrassingly, these are my feet. Yes, those are my toes with thick, busted, misshaped, and miscolored toenails, and enough of that yucky fungus to spare. But would you believe that all of this started with just a single little yellow discoloration? One that looked like this. It all seemed innocent enough, and at 57 years old, I wasn't losing any sleep over it. I just figured it was part of getting older. But I couldn't have been more wrong. You see, over time, that little yellow line had morphed into something I couldn't imagine in my wildest dreams. Before too long, my toe looked like something out of Night of the Living Dead, and even my wife started referring to me as Frankenstein feet. It had become something of an inside joke in our bedroom, but I never thought it would eventually be the cause of one of the single most embarrassing moments of my life. And that's not all. Turns out this kind of toenail fungus is the type that over 3 million Americans deal with every year. Which is why if your feet look anything like mine did, with bent, cracked, discolored, and crusty toenails, or if you've got nothing more than some slight discoloration, then I urge you not to brush it off and make sure you watch this short video until the end. If you pay close attention to this video, I'll reveal a way out. A simple, inexpensive, and quick way for you to address the embarrassing, frustrating, and quite frankly health-threatening fungus that could be growing under your nail right now. Now I know what you might be thinking. You've already tried everything under the sun to handle this problem. You've tried topical solutions that smell awful and take weeks, sometimes even months to make a difference. You've tried to handle the problem the old-fashioned way yourself by keeping your feet dry, changing socks 2 to 3 times a day, or wearing open-toed shoes. You've even tried some of those old wives' tale solutions like soaking your toes in vinegar or peeing on your feet in the shower. Yes, it's true, these solutions can provide some relief. But there's an unconventional and counterintuitive reason why none of these solutions have really worked for you long-term. You see, there really are only 2 main types of foot fungus. One of them will go away with time, simply by keeping your feet dry, clean, and rested. Those people are the lucky ones. Because if you're dealing with the second type, you could be in for a long battle. One that could cost you time, money, and as you'll see from my shocking story, it could cost you respect and dignity from those you consider friends. That's why it's important you don't just brush this off. Because in the next 3 minutes, I'm going to show you how you can tell which of these 2 types you have. Plus, if you're dealing with the second type, I'll show you a cheap, easy, and non-complicated way you can reduce and, in some cases, completely rid yourself of this problem for good. Doing it my way could work for you even if you've noticed a slight discoloration and you'd like to nip it in the bud before it becomes a problem. You've been dealing with this issue for some time, and you're sick and tired of looking down at your toes in the shower, or are too embarrassed to walk barefoot in public. You've tried dealing with the problem from the outside with creams, rubs, and urban myth solutions that never work, and are possibly making it even worse. You've tried anything and everything to rid yourself of this embarrassing problem. In this video, I'll show you how I restored my toes and my dignity. And I did it all safely, naturally, and without burning a hole in my wallet. It's all thanks to a special remedy I borrowed from tribesmen in the plains of Bangladesh. Now, I've never been to Bangladesh, and I couldn't point to it on a map, and you won't need to either. Let me explain. These tribespeople are the hunter-gatherer type of men and women. Week after week, day after day, they trek through damp and rough jungle terrain, often without anything on their feet. By all accounts, they'd be prime candidates for a whole host of painful foot problems. And yet, as you'll find out, it's as if they're immune to foot fungus. Turns out this natural method I borrowed has been popular in their tribe for centuries. And let me tell you, it doesn't involve sitting around waiting for weeks for your foot to get better. That would mean instant death or exile for these tribespeople, because a single day off their feet could mean the tribe goes without food. These men and women absolutely, positively have to have something that works and works fast. Not having it would literally mean life or death in the jungle. I'll tell you all about their methods and how I, just a simple, recently retired and happily married man from Trinity, Florida, came across it. Hi, my name is Joseph Owens, and it wasn't until last summer at a neighborhood pool party that I finally realized it was time for me to get serious about my little foot problem. All the parents and kids were already over at the pool enjoying themselves, so I grabbed my towel, slipped into my flip-flops, and headed over to join them. I walked straight to the edge of the pool, kicked off the flip-flops, and prepared myself for a cannonball like I did when I was a kid. Only, before I made my leap, I heard the children snickering, giggling, and laughing at the other corner of the pool. "That's so gross!" one of them blurted out while the others laughed. I saw my daughter sitting just to the side with her friend, a look of embarrassment across her face. The other parents at the pool were all giving me strange looks and avoiding eye contact as they went back to their conversations. Even Mrs. Thompson, our attractive next-door neighbor who I sometimes flirted with, was now giving me a strange look as she sat next to my wife, who had the same embarrassed look as my daughter. That's when it hit me. They were all looking at my feet. I abandoned my cannonball plan and instead sat on the edge of the pool, both feet in the water so no one could see. The children climbed out one by one as if I had infected the pool. The other parents looked at me in disgust. And finally, my wife sheepishly made her way over, knelt down beside me, and whispered in my ear, "Joe, I think you should get out of the pool and put some shoes on. You're ruining the party and embarrassing all of us." There I was, a 57-year-old man, a full career behind me, being mocked by my friends and scolded by my wife as if she was my mother. That's when I finally realized that something had to be done about my feet once and for all. Fast forward to today, and my nails are clear, clean, and without a trace of that nasty yellow color at all. And it's all thanks to what I learned about these tribespeople in the jungles of Bangladesh. I was simply looking for a natural and cost-effective way to help reduce the embarrassing signs of my foot fungus. I had no clue about the hurdles I was about to encounter, the outrageous prices of solutions already on the market, the time it takes to see any results, and the amount of urban myth and old wives' tale solutions that everyone seems to tell you about but never really work for you. Thankfully, I was able to skip most of that since I found out about the tribespeople in Bangladesh. In fact, the solution ended up being so powerful that at this summer's neighborhood pool party, instead of being the embarrassed old man everyone was staring at, I had many of my friends and neighbors come up to me privately asking me what I did to clear up my toenail fungus. As it turns out, many of them had that same little yellow discoloration that they weren't proud of. Others had full-blown Frankenstein feet, as my wife would say. And trust me, after they saw how shamed and embarrassed I was that day by the pool, they weren't saying anything to anyone about their feet. But deep down, they all wanted a solution that actually worked so that they would be free of the embarrassment and potential health risks this nasty little fungus can cause. I could have told them no. I could have just kept this solution to myself. After all, they had a good laugh at my expense last summer. But hey, I'm not one to hold grudges. And now that I've found a solution that worked for me, I'm happy to share it with those who ask for it so they can see if it will work for them. In fact, that's the whole reason I'm sharing it with you today, because I know just how hard it can be to suffer in silence. The embarrassment of showing your feet in public and being labeled the crusty old guy. The guilt you feel going to the foot lady to see if she can help, watching helplessly as she works herself to a sweat, clipping and grinding down your nails. The frustration of finally finding a solution that works, only to watch in horror as that yucky brownish yellow fungus creeps right back in. And the shame knowing that your wife is probably disgusted by the sight of it, even though she'll tell you it's no big deal. Now, before I get into what I discovered, there are a few things you should know about that little yellow friend hanging around your toenails. Something that I learned the hard way and want you to avoid at all costs. Something that keeps regular people like you and me stuck on the hamster wheel of urban myth and wives' tale solutions for years. Like I said, there's really only two real ways you get a fungus like I had. The first is by coming into contact with the fungus. Maybe in a locker room, some water that wasn't so clean, or even from the inside of a boot or shoe. If you've got this kind, then consider yourself lucky. Typically with little air, new socks and shoes, and some topical cream, you'll be okay. But if you've already tried those things and nothing has worked, Or if you saw some results in the beginning only to see that nasty yellow discoloration creep right back a few weeks later, then I'm sorry to inform you, you could be in for a long road. You see, the only reason a toenail turns yellow like that is if your immune system isn't working like it should be. That's the reason the fungus appeared in the first place, and it's the main reason it keeps hanging around. This was the position I found myself in, and let me tell you, it ain't pretty. But there is hope, and as I'm about to reveal to you right now, you can make incredible progress by clearing away your fungus simply by improving your digestive health. Let me explain. After my embarrassing pool party episode, I called up an old friend who was well-traveled and had practiced medicine in different countries around the world. And what he said shook me to my core. He said he's seen more men and women struggle with foot fungus more than any other problem. He also told me that the reason they struggle is because there's so much nonsense out there that just doesn't work. In fact, some of these urban myth remedies may seem like they are working. But then the fungus makes a comeback. The worst part is when it does come back, it comes back stronger than ever before. Then my friend told me an interesting story about a medical volunteering trip he took once to the plains of Bangladesh. It was there, buried deep in the moist, damp, and dirty jungle, where the men and women of a certain tribe had found a natural, almost immediate way to clear up their foot fungus. And these were jungle people, and I don't mean that in a rude way. In fact, I mean it out of respect. These men and women live how humans lived centuries ago. That means no shoes and walking barefoot everywhere they go. Harsh terrains like cliffs, mountains, and gravel. Wet and humid parts of the jungle where fungus not only hides, it thrives. To put it mildly, these jungle people put their feet through hell and back every single day, often putting their feet through more in one day than you or I do in a lifetime. My doctor friend told me back when he was traveling with these tribespeople that they often spend hours on end walking through marshland, and their feet should be covered in fungus. It's a literal hotbed for the stuff. But because of a special combination of herbs that they add to their diet almost daily, their nails, hair, and skin stayed strong and fungus-free. Now this was great news, but you have to remember I was in Florida, not Bangladesh. So I said to him, "Where can I get my hands on it?" His response was cryptic, like most doctors, and he answered my question with another question. He said, "Joe, what do you really know about your foot fungus?" I immediately launched into everything I hated about it. The thick, crusted, busted, and yellow-colored nails. The dead brown nail that's cracked down the center and makes it embarrassing to attend pool parties or go to the beach in the summer. That treating it is a full-time job that I don't get paid for. In fact, I've got to pay out of my pocket, and there's no guarantee that any solution will work. That's when he cut me off and said, "Joe, those are the symptoms of something much more serious. But what do you know about the cause of it?" This was the first time a doctor, any doctor, had talked to me about the true cause of the problem. I'd always figured it was something on the outside, a bug, bacteria, or dirt that had gotten under my nail bed, and now needed to be extracted. That's just one way it can happen, he told me. But the more common problem has nothing to do with your feet at all, he continued. Now he had my attention. Had I really been focused on the wrong area this entire time? Then he dropped a bombshell on me. The source of your foot fungus is not in your feet, but in your gut. He told me that the strength of the human immune system starts to decline after about age 35. That's why a lot of men start to see more foot problems after that age. The immune system is in a weaker state and isn't able to fend off things like fungal spores as well as it used to. While you're able to fight them off with ease when you're younger, your immune system isn't as good at doing that as you age. That's why when you try to treat this form of foot fungus with a topical cream or some other surface-level remedy, it never works. The problem has already started deep inside your gut, and that means the only solution can come from the inside as well. So while you're essentially changing the locks by trying to block it from the outside, it's doing nothing because the thieves are already inside your living room. And by doing it this way, you could actually be making it worse. Remember, if you've got the type that seems to come back again and again every time it pops up, that means it's stronger and harder to get rid of the next time. So if you want to get real lasting results, everything starts with your immune system. Now you might be thinking, this would take ages to fix. I mean, after all, the only way to fix this is by repairing your gut, immune system, and digestive system. So that probably means a lot of dieting, healthy greens, hands full of supplements, antioxidants, or fish oils. Trust me, that was my fear as well. And while my doctor friend told me doing all that stuff wouldn't hurt, and would probably be a great way to treat my gut going forward, it wasn't all that necessary when it came to treating my feet. And that was because of what he discovered all those years ago volunteering with the tribespeople in Bangladesh. Like I said, at first he thought these people were just immune to foot fungus, a biological anomaly, something evolution missed. But then, as a thank you for all the hard work he did while volunteering, the tribespeople invited him to eat with them. They prepared a big feast with all of their jungle delicacies, many of which you or I would politely decline. But as you've probably already figured out, my friend is the adventurous type. He came to discover that these people were eating an unusually high amount of a group of nutrients known in the medical community for their antifungal powers. That's when it all clicked for him. You see, these nutrients were powerful in aiding the digestive fight against the foot fungus that had spread across my toes. And that's when he hit me with the exact nutrients I would need to eat to restore my gut health. Then and only then would my immune system be properly equipped to evict the invading fungus for good. I'm going to reveal them to you right now, so make sure you have a pen and paper ready. You'll want to write them down, especially if you want to try this remedy for yourself tonight. I'll wait a moment for you to grab a paper and pen. Ready? Okay. Here's the ingredients my friend told me to get. The first was oregano. Wild oregano has very strong antifungal and antibacterial properties that can kill toenail fungus, athlete's foot, ringworm, and nail bacterial infections. The next nutrient was garlic bulb. Garlic is a natural antifungal, and you can use it on areas affected by fungus. He then told me about apple cider vinegar. Very few people know this about apple cider vinegar, but it's great for balancing gut health, and it also has amazing antifungal properties. Next came a nutrient called wormwood. Don't let the name fool you. Wormwood provides your body with an incredible level of energy, so you can fight off foreign bacteria more easily. Finally, he told me about olive leaf extract. New evidence has now suggested that olive leaf extract has the power to aid the fight against harmful toenail bacteria, as well as support a digestive system free of fungus-causing parasites. But then he mentioned one more nutrient, one that was more important than all of them. It was important because it worked to tie them all together. You've likely already heard about it, and if you have, you'll be just as excited as I was because it's easy to get your hands on and not all that expensive. The final ingredient was turmeric. It's a well-known anti-inflammatory and will help protect your immune system. It helps signal to your immune system so it knows when to attack foreign invasions and when it can rest and recuperate. When I got off the phone with my friend, I was left with a little yellow notepad full of the ingredients I would need to finally clear up my nail fungus. So I immediately hopped in the car and headed to the local grocery store looking for these ingredients. After about 20 minutes of searching the aisles myself, I threw up my hands in frustration because I couldn't find a single one. A store clerk saw me and politely asked if they could help. When I showed her my list, she recognized the items on it, but told me they don't carry any of them. But the local natural health food store did. So back in my car I went, driving across town to the single natural health food store we have in our little town of Trinity. The woman at the store was a little more helpful and actually had some of the ingredients on my list, but she said I would probably have to find the rest of them online. Frustrated and exhausted, I got back in my car and headed home. That's when I called my son, who was much better at the whole internet thing than I was. The first thing he asked me was, "Dad, what the heck do you need all this stuff for anyways?" I told him it was for a special recipe I was making, and just asked him if he could get them for me. He told me he could, but it was going to cost me a few $100s, and he couldn't guarantee that any of the ingredients would be real. "Won't be real?" I shouted at him. He went on to explain that there's a lot of scammers and fake supplement companies out there, not to mention ones who are selling stuff that just aren't high quality. "But," he said. "But what? What is it?" I asked impatiently. "There is one company I have heard of that sells extremely high-quality stuff like this for a fair price. They're a pretty rare find, but it might be worth a try." By the time I got off the phone with my son, I was more frustrated than ever, but at least he gave me the name of a company who might be able to help. It was a long shot, but I figured it was worth a try. I got onto our family computer and typed their company name into Google. Pure Health Research. Shockingly, I saw a company who looked like they knew what they were doing, and they even had their phone number front and center on their website. So I called, and before long I was talking with someone who already knew all about the true cause of my foot fungus problem. Let me tell you a bit about them first. Pure Health Research is a team of researchers who are changing the health industry as we know it by providing people like you, me, and my wife with the little-known solutions to everyday health problems. Their solutions and team are right here in the good old USA, but they're not owned by Big Pharma. They are an independent team and their hearts are in the right place. So when I called them up to ask them what they knew about the funky foot problems I was having, I was stunned that they already knew everything my doctor friend had told me. The oregano and garlic bulb and their fungus-fighting powers. The apple cider vinegar and wormwood and their gut-protecting abilities. The olive leaf extract and how it's been shown to support a parasite-free digestive system. And they even knew all about turmeric and how it's a wonder nutrient for supporting healthy and natural digestion so you can flush out the toxins that could lead to more fungus. It was clear from one conversation that these guys knew what they were doing, and they already had a formula with all of these things combined. They called it Fungus Eliminator. It's a perfected formula that has every ingredient that you need to protect and fortify the strength of your immune system to help in the fight against foot fungus. It was almost too good to be true. So that's when I asked them, why aren't more people buying this? And that's when they told me that most people just don't know that the best way to treat your foot fungus is by treating it from the inside out, and not the other way around. The first thing I did was I had them ship me several bottles of their formula. Then, after trying it for myself, I called them back with an idea. If they could promise me that it would always be available, that it would contain all the ingredients from my list, that each bottle would be created inside of a state-of-the-art FDA-approved facility so that there would be a guarantee of quality and no fakes, and if they could guarantee a price that was fair to the average Joe, then I would agree to share my personal story to help get the word out. Well, to my surprise, they agreed, and that's exactly why you're seeing this presentation today. And I couldn't be more thrilled because now people everywhere would have something that could effectively support a healthy digestive system and lead to clearer, healthier nails, hair, and skin. They could get a strong, vital, and youthful immunity so they get sick less often and can recover quicker. I mean, think about it. What if you no longer feared getting another fungus eruption in your feet? What if you no longer had to suffer the embarrassment from ugly, crusty yellow toenails? What if you never had to resort to any of those nonsense, urban myth, old wives' tale solutions that never worked? And what if the solution you used worked the first time and then continued to protect you against any future problems? That's all possible to you now, thanks to Fungus Eliminator. That's because we use strict standards to make every single bottle. Each bottle is handled in an FDA-approved facility. A facility that is certified for good manufacturing practices right here in the USA. So I'm sure you're wondering, just how low of a price did I get them to agree to? Well, how does pennies a day sound? That's right, because I know how important it is to help people with this life-threatening problem. I've worked with Pure Health to get the deposit amount below what you could imagine. So you're not going to pay hundreds for it. You're not even going to pay $100 for it. I got them to lower the price to a flat $87 per bottle. But if I'm being honest with you, that still didn't sound like such a great deal. And if it wasn't a great deal for me, it probably wouldn't be a great deal for you. So I got them to do one more thing for me. They agreed that anyone who bought the product through me directly, they'd knock an additional off the price. And since I didn't have the time to travel the country, meeting everyone and selling them Fungus Eliminator myself, I decided to create this presentation so I could reach as many people as I possibly could. So right now, today, you can get your first bottle for just $49, which comes out to less than $1.63 per day over the next 30 days. That's about what you'd pay for a pack of chewing gum. So what would you prefer? Total immune system protection, clear nails, stronger skin and hair, and the feeling of rejuvenated health, or some chewing gum? The choice is yours. But if you're still watching this, it means you're ready to get rid of that dangerous toenail fungus now. And to make this an absolute no-brainer, I'm going to offer you a risk-free trial just on top of the crazy low price. So when you make your order, your bottles of Fungus Eliminator will be rushed to your door and you'll be able to start immediately. But I want to guarantee that it works for you, or you don't pay a dime. So while I can't guarantee that every single person will see the same results, hey, we've all got different bodies after all, I can guarantee that you'll get all your money back if you don't see the results I've promised you today. That's right. And since I'm so confident that it will work, I'm extending that guarantee for a full 12 months. That means for the next 365 days, you can give this solution a shot and watch and feel the results for yourself. Heck, that's enough time that you could use the whole bottle, wait 10 months and 29 days, and still contact us and we'd give you your money back. If at any point between now and then you aren't satisfied with the results you get, simply let the people at Pure Health know and we'll give you a full refund of your deposit today. It's that simple. And to make this even easier for you, I'm throwing in free express shipping, so you don't have to pay anything to get it shipped right to your door. If it works, keep it, tell your friends about it, and enjoy a life free of foot fungus worry. And if it doesn't work, then contact us for your money back. You won't be out a single dime, not even for shipping. You have literally nothing to lose by going ahead and investing in your health today. So act quickly. Click the Next Step button and place your order now. You can go ahead and stock up with a 90-day supply of 3 bottles, or save more when you buy a 180-day supply of 6 bottles. I should warn you that because we are offering this trial at such a phenomenal cost, we expect to sell out of these bottles within the day, which means that we can run out of our supply at any moment. So don't delay. Stock up and make your purchase today. When you order, you're also going to get 2 amazing bonuses. The first bonus is called Immune Strength, the 7 secrets to keeping your immune system strong no matter what your age. And the second bonus is called The Truth About Fungus and Fat, the shocking reason why you may be pounds lighter than you think. These bonuses will open your eyes to information about your health that you've never dreamed possible. Inside, you'll discover why your immune system has been silently begging you for an upgrade, and the collection of delicious, fast, and easy superfoods that will make you feel the youngest and freshest you have felt since your mid-20s. Restore your hormonal levels to someone half your age. Enjoy life through the eyes of someone who is twice as healthy as you are now. It's all possible when you have the right information, and we've put these guides together to give you just that. When you make your order, these bonuses are yours to keep regardless of what happens as our gift to you. All that's left now is for you to click the Next Step button and place your order now. Don't hesitate. Don't wait until these bottles are gone. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose. Click the best option for you and get your order placed. My name is Joseph Owens, and I want to thank you for taking the time to learn about how dangerous these fungal infections can be and how to stop them once and for all. Since discovering this amazing remedy, I have been able to connect with thousands of people all across the country, and I expect to help thousands, even hundreds of thousands more. And that starts with you. If you think that this solution can help you or a loved one, please go ahead and give it a shot. I can tell you from experience, the difference between life and death is a click away. The choice is yours. Thank you, and have a great day. Oh, and P.S. If you know of someone else who has toenails that are infected, please feel free to pass along this message. Thanks again.